We're growing this together. And it's beyond making tortillas. It's more about the culture. It's more about how can you build a business with integrity? How can you stay true to your roots and to who you are and not see it like a weakness in your business, but the other way around?
Today's conversation is with Janet Flores Pavlovich, the force of nature and founder of Coyotas, the best tortillas on the planet. Janet grew up in Hermosillo, Sonora, the birthplace of the flour tortilla, and has spent years exploring how to restore dignity to traditional foods and the lineage of women who have nourished generations. We talk about preserving culture through food, the importance of clean ingredients, and why looking back at the wisdom of our ancestors is essential to help us feed our families better today. And in that wisdom lies reverence, simplicity, and beauty worth preserving. Head to the link in the description and subscribe to my Substack community where we explore eating well and living well in this amazing world. Let's jump in. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Unprocessed. I'm here today with my friend Janet Flores Pavlovich. How you going?
Hi, good. Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. This is really exciting. This pod is so much about, where we're at with food here in 2026. And over I'm going to be talking about this concept that we really are in a time that feels distorted around what to eat, where is it coming from? Parents are struggling to figure out what to put on the table every night, how to make it. We want to do the best job in the world, right? But there's just so much noise, right? And I think a lot of us know that basically we're in kind of this 100-year period of just this kind of trickle down effect of outsourcing so much responsibility and so much of the ownership over feeding our kids in particular. And here you come with this amazing tortilla company that to me is this beautiful offering to this very time in history where we're at. And we'll dive into this in the pod, but I feel like if we just had you or a version of you with all the different things at the supermarket that have gone array, we'd be in a much better place. Yeah. So can you talk about why tortillas and how you arrived at this place where you're the one fixing the tortilla?
Oh, that's amazing. That's beautiful. Thank you for understanding what we're doing. And it's been a journey, and that's why we started. Because have you seen the tortillas in the grocery stores? Have you read the ingredients?
It's like a paragraph.
It's a paragraph, exactly. And they're all wrapped in cheap plastic. So it was very difficult for me because I have tortillas in my DNA. And I eat tortillas almost daily. And I couldn't find any good quality tortillas, really good quality tortillas. So I knew it wasn't the only one. And I felt that I needed to do something about tortillas. I needed to dignify the tortillas. That's how we started. And it's not only about tortillas, food itself, as we were mentioning. Yeah. So I have a culinary background, and I was born and raised in Sonora, Mexico, where the wheat flour tortilla, it's the king in Mexico. We only eat wheat flour tortillas. We actually have wheat farms over there. My grandfather was a wheat farmer. So that for me, it was very, how can I say that? Being here, I miss that so much. That culture of going to buy in tortillerias, as we were saying, in tortillerias every day, your fresh tortillas. Yeah. And that's how we started. I started with the idea just going back to basic, creating a tortilla with real ingredients. And not because I'm Mexican and I have a culinary background. The reality is I didn't know how to make tortillas. I tried. I went to the grocery store and I bought the flour, the lard, and everything. And I was trying here in San Diego, trying to make tortillas, and I was missing something. So I went back to Hermosillo, Sonora, and knocked on the tortillerias and asked the ladies, can you teach me how to make tortillas? And that's when I find out I was missing that soul, the intention behind the tortillas, of why they're doing them. And they how do you say that
Yeah,
word?
kind of transmute
Yeah,
or
like no, they I felt that.
oh yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to honor also those women.
Mm.
Yeah.
So has it always been that in a village atmosphere, or and go back, I don't know, the last hundreds of years, is there usually a tortilleria? Usually, if you go back far enough, or was everyone making tortillas in their home? I mean, you can speak to where you grew up in
Yeah,
Sonora,
exactly.
or is this a general thing throughout Mexico? Like, what has it looked like over the centuries, and is it disappearing? Is there still that tortilleria culture? And when was it that there was this shift from like that sacred scene that you're describing to kind of a more diluted, more cheap ingredient existence for the tortilla?
That's a really good question. I grew up. I grew up with tortillas inside the house, not in my house, in my grandmother's house. So I grew up playing with the tortilla dough like a play dough. It was a, we love it. So that smell, the texture of the tortilla dough. So it was something very common in where I grew up in Hermosillo, that someone in your family makes tortillas. But also, you have these tortillerias in every neighborhood where this woman, they're usually women making the tortillas fresh, so we can enjoy them fresh. You actually, when you get home, they're like hot. So when you get home, you need to separate them so they can get cold and they don't stick together. So that's how we grew up. And yes, when I went back 7 years ago, when I started before Coyotas, when I started the idea, I find out that new generations don't want to make tortillas. So that's like from scratch.
Yeah.
And also they stop using beef lard or tallow,
Yeah.
and they start using vegetable shortening because it's more cheap. And that's when I felt more the need to do something about it, to represent them and to honor them, because we can lose that tradition. And I'm not saying everywhere. I just went a few months ago to two tortillerias in Sonora as well, and they're still using beef tallow, and they're still like not everywhere. And that, but I want it's if we keep that tradition. And it's not only about the tortillas; it's about food itself. I don't like
You know,
that. I never like to say healthy
yeah,
when I'm talking about our tortillas,
but we got to go
but it's
there.
inevitable.
We got to go there. It's funny. I was just talking, well, I just recorded a little reel
Okay.
kind of sharing about the croissant or the cornetti in Italy. Because I'll never forget getting one in a shop and I was asking about the ingredients because I had heard that they're using margarine in a lot of the croissants, right? And I was asking this baker and she said, yeah, like she said 70% of the croissants they're using margarine.
Okay.
And this is like a decade ago when I started to go down the rabbit hole of margarine and the fake fats and like and then the whole history of how we arrived at this place of fearing saturated fats, right? But all of that is this, it's like a chipping away at that connection of ingredients that have sustained us for thousands of years, right? And these animal fats or fats in general, like real fats and not made in a factory, not hydrogenated. And I think we can all agree that we got to go backwards a little bit in time with a lot of the way that we produce food and find our nourishment. So, from a health standpoint, have you witnessed this shift in, I guess, the last generation or so? Like, do you see the decline in health in Mexico in general? Of course, we witness it here in the States. Like, I'm witnessing it in my own family. I see unnecessary suffering, and there's this knowing that I think we all know, and it's obvious that we would be a lot healthier if we just dialed in how we ate. So, what does that look like for you and your own experience with your family? And what's that journey been like?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I witnessed it and I live it. Like, I lost my dad 2 years ago because of colon cancer, which is so related to food. And what I know and what I witness in my own family or with my mom, for example, is that she really thought, not anymore, but she really thought like all the food in the grocery food was food.
Yeah.
Until I was like, Mom, let's read the labels, and you will find out that mostly none of them are food. So it's not, you're not getting nurture, you're not getting what you need, right? Nutrients and everything.
Yeah.
So yes, I have witnessed it, but But we are all like, can I say that? Realizing that and doing small changes.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And more if you're a mom like me, that you have 4 kids, so you have to feed them, and it's a full-time job to feed them.
Yeah.
I'm one of those that is like, yeah, we're going to a park. And I'm like, it takes a lot. And then you come back out of the park and you have to wash all the Tupperwares that you took. And it's a full-time job
Yeah.
to feed your kids.
Yeah.
So that's why I understand the moms that just go and buy something. That's why we're trying to create a product as clean as we can to at least give you the tortillas to do less reps.
Yeah.
And you don't have to make the tortillas at your house because it's a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot there to unpack because we could argue, I argue this. In an ideal world, we would return to a world where somebody was home at least more often to tend to the fire, to tend to the home, to tend to the nourishment.
Exactly.
And that is part of why we're in this broken time, this breakdown of the family household. And I know that this could be 10
another
podcasts, right?
Yes.
Of like who should be doing that, the historical role of women most often being that.
Exactly.
Which we can unpack a little bit. Like there is so much beauty in that still, right? And there's also so much beauty into you being an entrepreneur and self-actualizing in the way that you are offering the world, right? But it's something that we need to reconcile. And it's why I'm carving out a career that's not in restaurant kitchens.
Exactly.
Because I'm the main cook in my family. I love you, my Carolina, my wife. She's not the main cook in the family. It's not her karma, right? So somebody's got to do it. And I refuse to have my family not be fed food from scratch. I refuse to not have broth going, and someone has to be around to tend to that, right? And so I am carving out that life because it's what I stand for. It's my line in the sand.
Exactly.
And I would urge people listening to remember that we have the option. I think the average person just forgets that we can choose this life and that it's okay. And I think so many of us are just kind of like living the life that is our program that someone else, told us we should be living. And I just think there's an opportunity to rethink this. And it's also an interesting world. Like I'm launching this podcast in part to sustain this life for my kids and to be able to be home more often and live the life of my dreams, which is to feed them well.
Exactly.
So let's talk about that a little because you have this amazing energy. And it seems like you've got like the hustle in you and you cultivate that energy and it's like your nature, but you're also, I'm imagining you're a mom that would love to just be home cooking at the same time, right?
So
how do you reconcile that?
you can. There's no balance for me. I don't believe in balance. I know that's very difficult to say, but there's no balance. I'm a full-time mom and a full-time entrepreneur and a full-time wife. And I don't know if I'm going to tell you full-time friends because I don't have friends right now. My kids are my friends. But so there's no balance for me, the reality. I take work to home, and actually my husband is my business partner. So that's the magic there too. I take work home, and my kids are seeing that, and I take my kids to work as well. So that's how I managed to navigate that. But that's not only how. It's a reality, and it's true when they say it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a family, and it takes a village to build a business. And I have very good tribes in both of my village. I have a very good mom, brothers, sister-in-law, mother-in-law. I have a very good family that supports me whenever I'm not there to be with my kids. And I have a very good team at Coyotas that believe in what we're doing. Yeah. We're growing this together. And it's beyond making tortillas. It's more about the culture. It's more about how can you build a business with integrity? How can you stay true to your roots? That was my challenge. Like, how can you stay true to your roots and to who you are and not see it like a weakness in your business, but the other way around?
Yeah.
It's a strength. It's my fortaleza. I don't know how to say that. So I want to show that to my kids as well. They're my inspiration, my daughters, and I only have girls. So how can you stay true to who you are and still accomplish something good?
Yeah. That's the North Star. right? I mean, that's my North Star. I used to say, look, I would do restaurants. I would like open a restaurant if it meant that the kids become a part of it, right? And then I think that's the only way that it could work. Like
Exactly.
they have to be integrated. And there's beauty there, you know? So what you're creating, it's the only sustainable way that it could be. And when you think about like how your girls are going to be growing up and are, and witnessing what you're creating, like what better education there is. Like if they're going to be entrepreneurs, they're literally living and breathing it every day
Exactly.
with you and your husband. And to me, like that beats anything that they could learn in school, right? They're just picking it up every day.
But also, if they want to be a housewife, they're learning that as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm there cooking every day. I didn't knew what it was I love my mom, but it wasn't until I have a kids that I realized the job she made, like the importance of being a mom. I called her and I was like, sorry, mama, but because of everything. I mean, I didn't did anything wrong, but as still, I didn't think I value what she was doing as a stay-at-home mom. And I think that's why also the name Coyotas. Coyotas is meant in my hometown is for women, strong, resilient women, and that keeps the community together.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, I want to lean into Coyotas and that origin story. But
Yeah.
did your mom did she teach you how to cook? Were you in the kitchen with her, or was that kind of her domain?
No, actually, the whole family. I mean, my dad used to cook at my house, my mom too. So it was something we all did. My dad had restaurants in Hermosillo, so I grew up in the restaurant in the kitchen, and
So cool.
yeah,
So
so
cool.
cool until it was a fast food actually, a fast food restaurant, but back in the day fast food wasn't as it is right now,
It
right?
was just actually fast. It didn't mean that it was bad
Exactly.
ingredients.
He was making the bread over there for the hamburgers and he was like mixing the beef and everything. So it was faster, but it
It
wasn't.
was good food.
So that's how we grew up in the restaurant and my mom stay at home mom. She helped my dad sometimes. So I did grow up in a food. I don't know, like every day I came from school, my mom did this amazing, beautiful food, which I'm very thankful. And we sit down at the dinner table and we talk to each other. That's how I grew up. And that's what I'm trying to do with my kids.
Yeah. I one time led this kind of meditation, and I asked everyone to close their eyes and imagine a scene from their childhood and hone in on a smell from their childhood, like from a meal that spoke to them or like something special. And for me, when I did that exercise, chicken soup comes out. It's like the broth and that smell that is like so uniquely chicken soup or chicken broth, right? Do you have a version of that you can recall?
Earlier, right now, when we were talking about, like, I recall the tortillas, like the flour dough of the tortillas, where Amalia was her name, was making tortillas on my grandfather's wheat farm. And I think that smell of the tortillas is the one that I have in my head. Maybe that's why I'm making tortillas right
Yeah.
now.
Is
Because
it?
if you go back to all your life, you realize that all the dots connect.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. And smell is so tied to our memory. To me, it's an imprint. When I think of decisions that we make as parents feeding our kids, or whoever you're feeding, right? Or even if it's ourselves, right? This might be the most impactful way that we're literally imprinting something in our legacy. We'll be long gone.
Exactly.
And your daughters or your grandkids someday, your daughters, will look back and be able to close their eyes and smell something that you made, like recall through smell.
They better do
They
because
bet-
I cook a lot for them. Like
So we
even
hope.
though,
So
we
we
hope
hope.
they remember I cook for them because actually right before this trip, I always before my trips, I cook like all the meals and I left them in the fridge. So that's the way for me. That's my love to them. Like making sure they have good quality food in the fridge for them to eat.
Yeah.
So they better
Yeah.
remember
Well,
everything I was cooking.
But leaning into that, I just feel like there's like a choice there. And this isn't to shame anyone that's cooking,
It's
whatever they're
very-
cooking,
it's
or
very-
like I just think of the contrast between like a frozen TV dinner, right? And again, not to shame anyone listening that did this last night, for example. That smells to me like that like plasticky, like maybe it was microwaved. It smells kind of like a hospital,
Yeah.
like fake. And I just think of like, man, is that the life that we want for our kids? More fast food, more of that sterile smell, or do we want to return to like exactly what you're describing? When you describe it, I can smell that kind of like toasty wheat, like almost like sweet and nutty, like the. And so, for you, what does it look like in terms of planting a legacy and moving forward and imagining the world that your kids and your grandkids are going to inherit? What does it look like for you?
That's a very good question. I don't know.
And let me kind of like cue
Yeah.
you up a little bit because down the street we were talking earlier, they just cleared a whole like forest basically for another target. I know what I don't want the future to look like. I don't want more of that. No offense to and yeah, I know it creates jobs, but like I don't want more of that. I don't want more fast food. I want more like really good tortillas that smell right, you
Yeah.
know?
I think it's very, I mean, we are trying, but it's very difficult to go back, you know? And if we can at least find good quality, like if there are other CPG brands that can do good quality food in Target or in Sprouts or in all
Yeah.
this food,
Yeah.
it will be very helpful.
Yeah.
But it's not easy. It's a lot of challenge, and you're competing with huge corporations, and you're taking risk by investing in the 100% compostable packaging with no window. They
Yeah.
told me like you have to have a window, and I was like, okay, we'll take the risk. We're not putting window because I want a compostable packaging.
Yeah.
So for it's very difficult. The ideal for me is living in a farm with cows and everything, but I don't know if that can be a reality now.
Yeah.
So at least if we try to do our best as a CPG founders, it will be very
Yeah,
helpful.
and that's what we got to do. And I'm catching
Exactly.
myself because I'm realizing, so yeah, my ideal has nothing to do with these stores, but I live it still. It's like having one foot in like the dream,
Uh-huh.
right? And experiencing that dream in some ways. And then another foot in like, yeah, I go into these places sometimes, right? For things that I need. And this is where the power of where we're at and what you're doing is so impactful. So because these stores aren't going to disappear, it might be another 1,000 years before they
Exactly.
do. And maybe they don't have to. And maybe that's my kind of my pessimistic view of it. Maybe they could just evolve and morph with our own evolution to return to a little bit more beauty, maybe. Like maybe there's a future where they're constructed in different ways. It feels more fun. That the
Exactly.
lighting isn't
And I
so.
think they're evolving
Yeah.
because of some of the retailers where we are, they really appreciate and the compostable packaging, for example. There are some retailers that you have to, especially in Southern California, that you have to be organic. If not, you're not even in the
Amazing.
store.
Yeah.
So if we can, I think we cannot fight against what's happening, but if there's a lot of people that is standing behind their belief, and it will be better.
Yeah.
Like those retailers that they're removing plastic bottles. For example, there's a retailer in San Diego, Jimbo's, that he doesn't have any plastic water bottles in their aisle. And that's a lot of
Yeah.
money that he's
Yeah.
missing, but he doesn't care. So there was the first self-serve Dr. Bronner, so we can avoid like the like refill, so
Yeah.
we can refill the like if we are trying to do those small changes at least as CPG founders, we're gonna
Yeah.
make it better.
Yeah. And so, you were talking about the list of ingredients that you were seeing in tortillas. So part of your mission and part of your work, and it's so obvious that you're doing this with such grace, and it doesn't seem forced at all. It's naturally you're marketing, but really what I pick up on is you're educating. And it's something I don't know why I feel triggered by saying that word even. I don't even like that word. It's like informing and inspiring, I think is a better word
Okay.
describing it. Because you're showing up with such energy, just kind of telling the story of, hey, there's a lot of ingredients in the average
Yeah.
tortilla. These are the ones in ours, and this is something we're proud of, and this means something. Have you gotten a lot of feedback from people that are your fans that are buying that learn something from buying these tortillas and like I'm assuming are having awakenings, or is it mostly
Yeah.
like people that are just like already looking for the cleaner food?
No, there's a lot of people that is like awakening, like they're starting to understand what we're doing, and there's a lot of people like today. There's this woman that just gave me a hug. She was like thank you so much. Because of you, is I can eat tortillas again. And those moments are actually our why as well. And it's for me also, there's two difference. Going back to my culture, a tortilla, a flour tortilla, like the ones that I was raised eating, are made with four ingredients. No more, no less. If it has less, for me, it's not a tortilla, it's a wrap. Okay? So that's why I'm very focused on only four ingredient tortillas. If you're gonna put less, that's fine, but that's a wrap. Okay?
Right. So what are those ingredients?
Okay, so for these tortillas, it's organic cassava flour, which is a root vegetable, water, organic coconut oil, and sea salt. That's it. It's basically like an authentic tortilla is flour, wheat. I call it wheat flour because that's how we call it in Mexico. Wheat flour, any type of fat, lard, salt, and water. That's it as well. So I make some substitute, and actually, we are launching after 2 years of developing. I'm launching a wheat flour tortilla very soon because we're not a gluten-free company. We're just a clean label company. So it took me 2 years to understand and to find a good wheat farmer using regenerative practices and that they stone ground the wheat.
Incredible.
So once, as you may know,
Yeah.
if you stone ground, that you keep the nutrients out
Yeah.
of the wheat.
Yeah.
So it's a very delicious wheat. It smells like home.
Am I allowed to say that I've tasted them?
Yeah, of
So Janet,
course.
Janet sent me
You were the
some
first one.
a few weeks back, and they were gone.
Oh.
Like my kids, I mean, that's all we ate. Like
Thank you.
those packages, and along with the cassava, and I just went through literally all of them.
Oh, thank you. It's seriously, it took me 2 years. 2 years, and my team will know. It took us, not me, it took us 2 years to develop the wheat flour tortilla recipe.
Yeah.
Who takes time to do that?
You did-
Well, yeah. So all the, like, because if we're doing something, it has to have intention and integrity. It's my face and my kid's face on the back of the packaging.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to sleep.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I have to say that I think a lot of people are afraid of wheat now. It can be so toxic, sprayed with glyphosate.
And also like the rolling, like they remove all the nutrients out of the wheat
Yeah, the
now,
refining, the adding back
refining,
in of
the
synthetic.
bleach,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
synthetic,
Yeah.
everything you
Yeah.
have to add. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
So
synthetic
actually, that's
vitamins
why
and-
our wheat is like, if you saw the tortillas, they're like dark brown.
They're beautiful, but I felt so light after eating them.
Yeah.
There's like an elegance to them, which brings me back to another important word that you brought up at the very beginning, and it's part of your identity as a company is that word dignity. And I want to circle back to that because it's, man, that's a powerful word.
Yeah.
And you're talking about layers of that dignity from the lineages and the women historically that were making these tortillas to the ingredients, the farmers that are bringing these ingredients to the table, the cooks at home that are making it for their kids, the whole, all of it, like all the world itself around us, nature itself, for like the integrity and the dignity of how we sanctify is the right word, maybe, like how we honor this life and our food systems and the way we've kind of relating to food lately with this hustle and all the ordering on our phones and just like the delivery and just like it's lost worthiness of that word.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not really dignified the
Yeah.
way that we're kind of running around just kind of keeping ourselves alive but really not nourishing ourselves. Can you just like talk a little bit more about that word? And I do want to learn more.
It's a strong word.
Yeah, like and just kind of go further with that.
Yeah, so basically, honestly, when I say dignify, because there's a lot of people that say, what do you mean by dignifying? For me, it's like going back to the culture, to basic, to the ingredients, to the root. And also, we were getting used to, like, you go and buy the best, I don't know, pasture-raised organic eggs and pasture-raised grass-fed beef or organic vegetables, everything you're buying for your tacos, and you go and buy a crappy tortilla. Sorry for the word. Can I say that word?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you go and buy a crappy tortilla for your taco. I was like, Liz, why? Because everybody was thinking about it's just a tortilla. Yeah, but you're eating that tortilla, and you can buy a $7 croissant or have a $9 cafe. And it's fine, but you cannot have a good quality tortilla.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because why not?
I
So
know.
so that's why I was like, let's go back to basic. And honestly, it's not of having an expensive tortilla. It's a costly tortilla. It costs a lot to make it, and to the people that are making, we self-manufacture ourselves, and it's like a family in there, and they're we take care of them as much as we can. We actually took care of them before we took care of us, my husband and I.
Wow.
We were paying them, we were not paying ourselves, and we I go back to integrity as well. And at Coyotas, for example, we have a constitution. And the constitution is is not our it's like a mission and value thing, but it's a constitution, and it's what we do, what we value as a brand. And article number 1 is dignify the tortilla. And then honor strong woman is article number 2. Article number 3 is respect the land.
Yeah.
Because your good is as good as the land is grown on. And that's why the compostable packaging. And I'm not saying we're perfect, because we're not. But at least we're trying to do our best.
Yeah.
Without cutting any corners. And I know our customers deserve that and appreciate that. Obviously, it costs more to make this beautiful compostable packaging, but it's like dignifying it.
Yeah.
The product that you are taking to your house, you know?
Yeah. It has a certain texture, right? That act of picking that up versus like you were describing, that plastic one, like still at the grocery store that's hot and steaming from like the soybean oil and the stuff, right? So you've launched this brand in the States. Do you imagine a world where like can Coyotas eventually, like, can it be sold in Mexico? Is that a thought? Does it need to be?
They do eat a lot of tortillas back in Mexico.
Yeah. I mean, or what I would love to know, I've never actually been to Mexico.
Okay.
I've traveled so many places, and I'm from the East Coast, so very often it was like Europe, but I've gone to South America. I've still never been. I'm dying to, and I'm like, part of me is, this is inspiring. Are things better there? Is there still a sensibility around food that is more intact than in the States, where I feel like, and this isn't to just wash the state, it's very complicated. And I'm triggered when I travel and people are like, the food's terrible in the States. Have another hamburger, like, still like the best of them. We have the best of amazing things. Like we're here in Austin, and I get such amazing grass-fed beef, and we're gonna cook later some wild Gulf snapper, and like we have amazing ingredients. I'm making a generalization, but so much is lost here. Is more intact still in Mexico? Like, is still there a reverence for food, and is it or is the same need to kind of correct, does it still exist there?
That's a very good question. I will never say anything about the States because I live here and I'm a Mexican.
Yeah.
But I can talk about Mexico because I'm a Mexican.
Go for it.
Yes, where I'm from, mostly all the dishes and the food we prepare is fresh. But I think we're lost in the importance of organic. And since I am from a state that produces a lot of produce, and everything is imported here, the good quality produce is imported to the United States. So we are left in Mexico with the worst. So even though we are able to have like really good quality products, everything is here, which is a good thing for us. But I don't know, it's so difficult because there's also this thought about, because it's the reality about good quality food costs more.
Yeah.
That's a reality, and that's something bad. And living there, and also here, it's expensive. Everything, life is it's being more expensive. So that's why I don't judge people that have decided not to eat, or that have the time to prepare their food at home because they have to work. So it's very difficult for me. It's like, and more as a mom, like I can understand them. But that's why you have to decide if you earn less but you have more time to feed your family. Which that was my mom. My mom did that. She didn't have a job, but she was stay-at-home mom. And I'm really thankful because of that.
I mean, this is the beast that we've created. Like the systems are created for cheap food and like cheap in all the senses. And part of it is so we don't have to go down the whole
Yeah,
this whole
that's a
story of like
it's
government subsidies and kind of the commoditization of food globally. It's sad. It's really
it's and then you go to a hospital and the food there is
yeah.
terrible. Or the airport yesterday, I was just
Yeah.
traveling and I literally bought before flying a bar of Parmesan cheese, and that was my bar.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I was like,
Smart choice. Super smart choice. My son actually loves to just
really? Oh,
like
my daughters,
take
they
out.
like it.
Oh my God. I
So,
mean,
yeah.
great protein. Like yeah, raw.
It's super simple. It was like a $4 small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. That's funny. I was just talking to my friends in Parma this weekend, or this past weekend. It was like free. Like they open up the cheese aging caves and stuff like that, and it's a thing that they do like once a year. Like if you had been in Parma this past weekend, you could have gone
Oh, that's
to see the
amazing.
wheels. Yeah, it's on my bucket list to do. So you're not transitioning, but having to be behind camera more, and maybe that doesn't come so naturally to you. What's that
It
evolution been
doesn't.
like for you?
It doesn't actually. And it doesn't, but it's very helpful as a me as a customer to see who is behind. Like it's to see who is behind a brand and why they're doing in order for me to see if I support them or not, or if I buy the product or not, right? So I'm going more into behind the scenes to show the why and how we're doing things, to if you can relate or connect, or if I can help you, that'll be very helpful for us. Like
Yeah.
that help build community. And we are so I'm so, like the I always say the best part of this journey, which hasn't been easy, it's all the wonderful people that we have met along the way, and that has been really amazing.
So awesome. And it just, you exude that as a brand. And I can't imagine you not having kind of like gone down this path and been behind camera. Like you're not, this isn't the brand without you having the courage to do that. And before we jumped on, you're kind of like shy about the language. And it's like funny that you're saying that because you speak so
Thank
like,
you.
with such grace and having lived abroad in multiple countries, three different countries with three different languages, and having to have the courage to just shop at the farmer's market, let alone get on a podcast. As like, it being a second language, you do it with such grace.
Thank you.
And that's, I think, part of like the power of your brand, that this is a courageous act. You don't just like start something, like you went down this path and it was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
So can you just tell us like, where is Coyotas going? Like, what is your dream for this brand, for these tortillas, for the evolution?
So the whole intention of Coyotas has always been to be the best tortilla company, full stop, which means like source the highest quality ingredients. I have been to both of the farms, to the cassava farm and to the wheat farm, before producing the product, right? To see how they practice, how they source, how they do their things, and in and I feel very proud of both of them. So yeah, the intention is to be the best tortilla company, and everything you can make out of the tortillas. So we're launching chips very soon,
Amazing.
next month. Just say we're launching chips, and they're gonna be only of organic cassava as well, avocado oil, organic
That's
avocado
huge.
oil,
Yeah.
and sea salt. That's it. And they're very, very good. You'll try them. And yeah, I mean that's the intention. Like to build something with integrity, as I said, and staying true to who we are as a company. All the team. If you meet all the team, like they're such coyotas. Like all the women in my team, most of them they're mothers, and they're full-time mothers as well, and they're amazing. And I always like them to support as well. Like they have some things to do with their kids, it's like go ahead and do it. So it's just like building a culture and a community more beyond tortillas. That's for us as a goal with Coyotas.
Can you tell the listener what Coyotas means?
Okay. So first of all, I don't know, I'm a visual person. So I brought a packaging because for me it's very important to see what are you talking about. Every time somebody's talking about something, I was like, oh, can I see a photo? So this is the packaging. And Coyotas in my hometown, it refers to woman, a strong, resourceful woman. We make that word. It goes a lot of years ago, years ago. And yeah, that's why I choose the name. It doesn't mean a female coyote. It doesn't exist actually, that word in the dictionary.
Amazing.
So that's a way for me to stay true to my culture and to my roots. And as I was mentioning, I encourage that. Like, staying true to your roots, who you are. Hopefully, my daughters can stay true to who they are and be proud of it.
I love that so
Whatever
much.
they want to do in their life, and not see it as a weakness. For example, we're talking about my language. It is who I am.
Yeah.
It's difficult for me to communicate sometimes because I forget the words or I forget how to say things or what I wanted to express. But it is who I am, and I see it as a strength. So thank you for appreciating that.
Of course, I do. I've become a little bit of like a fanboy for
For
Coyotas,
Coyotas, thank you.
and it just,
Likewise, of
I
what
mean,
you're doing.
thank you. You know, if a brand like yours speaks to me, I will just shout it from the mountaintops, and that's why I reached out to you.
Thank you.
I want to close before we dive into the kitchen, and we're gonna do some fun cooking. Can you share? Maybe you can either do your top, or maybe your top three things that you would make in a like maybe your top three tacos or top three things that you would put on one of your
Okay.
tortillas.
That's so funny because it's actually not a taco. I've been doing this lasagna that I'm obsessed with. It's not a taco. You just grab the tortilla, put it on the pan, like n- straight out of the fridge. Cold tortilla in your lasagna dish or whatever
Yeah,
you're gonna do.
yeah.
Put the tortilla, put the filling, cheese, tortilla, filling, cheese, bake it in the oven like for 20 minutes, and it came out amazing. Like, per soft, like, I'm obsessed with this lasagna. I also do a lot of, for me, breakfast tacos.
Yeah.
I love breakfast tacos. And, well, I love any kind of tacos, honestly. And it's so simple, like, or burritos or wraps. I
Yeah.
do these to my kids, like these mini wraps, and they're very easy to on the go.
Yep.
You put the protein, the produce, whatever you want to do, just
Mm-hmm.
wrap them. But the lasagna is really good. Pizzas, we have done pizzas with this ones. They're amazing. And you can do a lot of things. It's not only
Amazing.
Mexican food.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to do.
Well, that's the thing, and you could be
Oh, no,
like,
yeah.
it's like it could be literally any culture's food. It would
Yes.
work. You know, interestingly, I had some peanut sauce that I had made kind of like a Thai dish, and I had some leftover goat meat that I braised some goat shoulder, and I had this peanut sauce, and I'm like, that would be really good. And then I saw tortillas, and I was gonna make a taco, and all of a sudden I had a goat peanut sauce taco with raw cheddar cheese, and like some really good hot sauce from my friends at Bellevue. And oh my God, it was insane.
It was insane.
Like, and that's the fun of a tortilla. Like, it
Exactly.
doesn't have to be anything.
No, and it doesn't have to be a mix. I mean, I'm a Mexican, I can say that. It doesn't have to. I had a call from a friend from my hometown. She was like, I'm loving all your content because as a Mexican, I can only use tortillas for tacos.
Yeah.
Like for Mexican tacos, not even like hummus or like Mexican
Yeah.
tacos. And now I'm doing a lot of things with your tortillas and I'm loving it.
Totally.
And that's why I like to experiment. And we didn't get into this, but I know you wanted to do cassava tortillas also.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
I've just gone down this road because my wife kind of was going off gluten. Like I love gluten, but I just love the best kind, right? And
Yes,
so we make
exactly.
sourdough, but I get the best wheat from Barton Springs here in Dripping Springs, which is amazing, organic, freshly stoned milk. But cassava is just, I love the texture, like the
It's
chew,
beautiful.
like it's just so
beautiful.
good.
And it's a staple food in like it's one of the most eating food in all the world.
Yeah.
And it's so sustainable. You don't need a lot of water for it. It's a really good staple food.
Yeah.
But you cannot grow it like north of the equator. So
Yeah. Okay, two more things. One, so I sometimes when I want a sweet bite, I'll put like a little bit of like really good nut butter and a little
Okay.
raw honey
Yeah.
and like roll it up. Like, and that is one of my favorite sweet bites. Do you
Okay.
have any dessert ideas that you like to do?
So I make a lot of buñuelos with them.
Mm.
So I fry them in organic avocado oil, and then I top it like with cinnamon and coconut sugar. And I know you made them as well because I saw you made them. Because for those buñuelos, I usually make this delicious just like with butter, fried bananas.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you need. Just a hot comal butter, and you put the banana, and it's so amazing. So I do the buñuelos, and then I put the fried banana on the top, smash it. And sometimes I buy like this really good quality ice cream that is sweetened with sugar, not sugar, with honey. So, okay. So that's one dessert I do to my kids. And yeah, I made one time sweet nachos. That's how I call it. I cut them, I fried the nachos as well. But also like just banana, almond butter, and that's it.
Amazing.
Like roll them.
Yeah,
That's,
so fun. I'm
there's,
salivating.
yeah.
And if my kids are listening, like if they haven't heard this, I promise I'll make some of those things for you.
You have to make the buñuelos with the fried bananas.
Yeah.
They're really good.
That's
I have
gotta
the
happen.
recipe in my website.
That reel that I did of fried bananas like went kind of viral. It's like a half a million views
It's
for some reason. I think people are weirded out that I used a knife to cut the bananas and
yeah.
everyone wanted to chime in. And a lot of people thought I had like a really like weird voice, which is
Okay.
great. Like I
Okay.
love that. It fires me up. It's like, fine, I'm going to launch a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing I want to ask, in case people aren't going to watch our cooking video, which will eventually it'll be up on YouTube, we're about to do. I gotta know, and let's let the listener in on the best way to heat up tortilla.
It's so easy, but it's our pain point actually. Like, there's not enough videos of us heating up a tortilla in order to get them right. Because once you do, you get them soft and pliable
Yeah.
and delicious, and they don't break or crumble. So they shouldn't break or crumble if you heat it up correctly. Okay, you just grab a pan or a comal, preheat it, medium high heat for 2 minutes, and once it's hot, you can put your hand on, not on the comal because you're gonna burn your hand, but like 6 inches on top of the comal, and if you feel the heat, it's ready. And then you put the tortilla straight out of the fridge, and you're gonna start to see it how it changes the color to translucent. It takes about 15 seconds at most. And once it starts changing the colors, you flip it and you wait another 15 seconds. That's it. No more, because if you heat it up a little bit more, it can get a little bit like crunchy or
Yeah.
stiff. And you want them to be soft.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you heat it less, it's not going to get like that softness
Yeah.
as well that you need to have from the tortilla.
Yeah. And so let's just say you're doing a bunch. Like so when
How
I'm
do you
feeding
heat up? How do
well,
you
I
heat
do
up
the
the-
exact same thing.
Okay.
Sometimes if I'm doing it with cheese, like I'll make breakfast burritos with like really good cheese and scrambled eggs, for example. And so I'll get a toaster oven like super hot and I'll have the cheese like thinly sliced on there and it'll be in there for like 10 seconds.
Okay.
Like as soon as the cheese melts, but I'll test it fast and make sure it's just soft because it's crazy, like 10, 15 seconds too long and it'll start to be crispy.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, that could be a cool thing.
Yeah, they make
and that
really
would be
good
called
tostada.
like a tostada, right?
Yeah, make really good tostadas.
So maybe that's the inspiration. It's like you can't really mess up if you go too far, you have a tostada.
Exactly. If you realize that you go too far, just make it crispy.
Yeah,
You know?
amazing.
That's a good. I also seen people that put it in the oven for a few seconds, like in a bunch in the oven, then they take it out. And
Yeah. Okay. So for me, who like I'll cook for up to 100 at a school, for example, and I've usually what I'll do, I'll either have a big like flat top, or I'll do it on burners, and I'll have like 8 burners, and this is usually when I'll do like a nixtamalized corn, but I've done it with cassava too, where I'll just go like boom, 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 flip, 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 and then I'll just quickly get them in a towel and cover them.
Yes.
So if you're doing it at volume, that's the best thing, right?
Yeah.
To get them in so they'll kind of like
Exactly.
steam a
Steam
little bit
inside
and
the
they'll stay warm. I just did this for my son's birthday party and I was just kind of like firing them away fresh and adding them to towels and like adding them to the buffet and it worked out great. And they'll stay like a while as long as they're closed pretty well.
As long as you don't overheat them,
Yeah.
they'll stay soft for a while.
That's a cool swag thing that you could do. You could have like a tortilla warmer. I don't know if you're
We actually did. We did. I had a lady in Tijuana that was doing. This was like her side job.
Okay. That's a request from me. I want
We-
Coyotas tortilla warmer.
Yeah, we'll get some.
Okay.
We'll get some.
All right, Janet.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Can you just tell the listeners how they can find you either on Instagram, they can follow up there, or a website? What's the best way to track you
Okay,
down?
so our website is coyotas.com and Instagram is eatcoyotas, EAT Coyotas.
And which stores
Oh,
can they
stores?
find? And because it all throughout the country?
Yes, for the first time this year, we are nationwide with Sprouts, and not in all regions, but in a lot of regions of Whole Foods and a lot of nice, beautiful independent stores, co-op restaurants. There's a lot of restaurants that are using Coyotas, which that for me, for example, we were talking about fast food. those restaurants that are using Coyotas is because they care about the quality of their food,
Yeah.
right? So if you go to a restaurant that is using Coyotas, they are sure using a high quality protein, high quality butter, and everything. So a lot of restaurants, we have a store locator in our website,
Cool.
and hopefully we can get to more stores, or you can find us directly on our website. You can buy the tortilla.
I was going to ask, so people can
Yeah.
direct order.
Yeah,
Okay,
they can direct
amazing.
order. We ship only Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Okay, and do you ship to all 50 states?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay,
We've been shipping tortillas for 6 years now.
incredible. All
So
right,
thank
everyone.
you so much for everybody that buys Coyotas. Like it's, yeah, I used to do all the fulfillment. So yeah.
So awesome. Thank you, Janet, for being here. Let's
Thank
get in
you
the
for having
kitchen.
me. Yeah, let's cook. Let's cook some tacos.
Do it. Hey, everyone. If this episode meant something to you, please share it with someone that you love. It really means a lot to move the needle in someone's life, to inspire them. You can find everything we talked about in the show notes, and I hope you'll come join me in my What Feeds Us community on Substack, where I can help take the decisions off your plate as I provide weekly prep ideas, recipes, community, and so much more. So until next time, this is Chef Aaron with Unprocessed.